Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Healing Bench, a special chapter at the Fun House here. This is where I like to take stuff that's been cluttering up my workshop and fix it to get it out of my life, so I can get some space back. Now, through no one's fault but my own, I've been sitting with this bench in my workshop for probably a couple years now, and it goes something like this. There's some dowels that go in there, and there's this proprietary garbage hardware that screws into the end of here. And then you put a screw through here, and that screws it together so you can kind of assemble it. It comes in a box, kind of IKEA-ish or esque. But as is tradition with proprietary garbage hardware, it fails. And this tore out. Somebody tried to glue it. I think the piece is lost now. So, off to Jimmy B to get it fixed. I could probably piece something in. Use this hardware again, put it back together. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find a piece of oak and trim it to this size and shape. If not, I might have to use just a piece of pine. But that's okay, because I am going to use a much better, much stronger method to put it together. So even if it's pine, it's still going to be plenty strong. Let me see what I got in the old wood pile. Alright, none of my oak was the right thickness, but this pine was. So I used this scrap piece to find the angle on my miter saw. Then I matched that angle on this piece. Now I've got to run it through the table saw, or in this case the radial arm saw, and shave it down to the same thickness as this bar so that it matches. Works for me. Ta-da! Give that a little sandaroo. You get the picture. Now I have to try to transcribe the hole for the dowel on both ends. I'm going to measure that and get it more precise, but maybe with a set of calipers. So I've drilled my top holes. I should have made a jig or something, but I just eyeballed it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some doweling I have, and I'm going to make some dowels to replace the ones it came with. This is a little bit bigger, and what I did was I found a drill bit that's just a hair smaller than this. So I'm going to make a couple dowels for in here, and I'm going to pop it all together, and then that'll be both sides with glue. But then what I'm going to do is, instead of using the proprietary hardware that they came with, which did not hold up, we will be glued. I'm going to drill this hole out to the same size with the drill bit that's just a little bit smaller than the dowel. Then I'm going to squirt some glue in there and hammer the dowel in, and then I'll cut it flush with this. And then I will put a band around it, or a ratchet strap, to clamp it for 24 hours. And this is going to be stronger than it ever was. The only bad side's going to be that where the hole is, you're going to see wood this color, but this needs to get stained anyway. So what's the difference, right? So that's the game plan. Let me go cut myself some dowels, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to glue it and install it. Or maybe I'll show you how to cut the dowels. Alright, I stuck the dowel into the brace as far as it would go, and I took a depth measurement. It was about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut this about 1/2 inch long, and then I'm going to dry fit it to make sure that it doesn't bottom out and hold the seam apart. And as long as it doesn't, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Oh, I might have inadvertently made a catastrophe for myself by putting this rip fence over here. That ought to work. I think that's too long, but I'll go dry fit it and take more off rather than risking cutting it too short. Okay, much to my chagrin, both sides have bottomed out, so I'm going to go take a heavy 1/8 inch off of both sides. Okay, moment of truth for the dry fit. Oh, that's beautiful. Great. Now I'm going to glue both ends, put both sides in, and then we'll proceed with the rest of my master plan. It's probably way too much. It's going to squirt out all over the place, but I prefer that to too little. Okay. Making a mess already. I have a knot here and some scarring. I'm going to turn towards the inside where you can't see it. Get rid of some of the boogeriness. Lovely. Get a paper towel, do a little cleanup. Keep that handy. All right, get some tension on this, and hopefully I'll hold the pieces still while I do what I got to do. This would be a great time if I had some surgical tubing. Surgical tubing makes excellent clamps or straps for holding things while you glue them. Okay, I got that situated where the hooks and the winching mechanism won't scratch up the wood or the legs. It's best if you can get it down so that just a little bit of it is below the foot. That'll hold it from sliding up on you. Because this is tapered, obviously it'll, with a slick finish on it, the scrap would like to try to slide up. All right. Now I'm just going to turn these until they match the angle of the others. Wipe off this excess glue before it dries. I believe it dries clear, but it could still leave unsightly drips. Also on this fresh wood over here, it would stop the wood from taking the stain, and you'd have a funny looking spot. Alright, I'm happy with the way this looks, so I'm going to drill it. I'm going to get this one in immediately to keep it from twisting on me. I should have fired up the compressor to blow that out, but I'm confident that I did a good enough job. So let's get a little glue on here, or a lot. Doke. All right. This is a little bit smaller than the hole where the hardware was, so it might be wise to wood putty it and let that dry before moving on to staining. Now I have a Japanese back cut saw. It cuts on the stroke being pulled back towards you as opposed to pushed away from you like American and European saws. And I'm going to use this to make my cut. These also would come in handy for cutting door trim if you were doing tile or flooring. But now we have the oscillating saws, so you can just use that. Alright, I'm going to hit that with a little sandpaper before I call it finished, but first I'm going to move on to the next one. Make absolutely sure that I am happy with the angle it's sitting at and that it's clean. From this point of view, I can see that the other side is not clean. I'm cleaning that up. Turn it till it faces me. Gives me a different perspective on the messes I've made. I think the reveal is about the same as a carpenter's pencil. So I can use this to kind of confirm my angle. And now I am ready to drill. And glue and dowel. Not clamped, I think I can just let gravity help. Twist and push in. Oh, feels like I used half a foot, but I don't think it's quite that much. Can you guys still see? Oh boy. I screwed up, guys. I moved it and didn't take into account the camera angle. Here you go. Thing is like a razor. Hope I didn't just skin my finger. See how lined up we are. I guess there's nothing wrong with a light tap from the mallet. This is a rawhide mallet, just to confirm it's bottomed out. Okey-doke. 3/4 of the way there. Okay, that seemed to move an awful lot. I was hoping I didn't split this. That damn saw did get me. Something bit me. That with a little sandpaper. I'm going to call that good enough for government work. Set that aside to dry. And the client is actually doing some staining in her kitchen that pretty much matches this stool. So hit that with some of that stain she's got. And it ought to look like it just came out of the factory. Alright guys, that's it for this repair. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.